Bella Vita II, the beautiful life. When you have your child murdered, that is the exact opposite of a beautiful life. So in case you didn't know, and since you don't know, and since the media doesn't know, but the shrinks do know, because Casey Anthony explained it to him, that it was ironic. There was actually sarcastic in refuting the beautiful life, okay? So, she's a very interesting, bright woman who became completely crazy when she freaked out seeing her daughter having been murdered a few minutes before and soaking wet. And her father had the daughter in the arms. In the pool, nobody was in the pool and the ladder wasn't up, okay? And so she didn't just hop in the pool and drown between the time that Casey went out and looked in the pool and then came back, and a few minutes later George happened to find Kaylee soaking wet in the pool, okay? And there's no ladder up either. Okay. George put the ladder up later, after Casey left. He put the ladder up so that when Cindy came home, she would notice, oh my God, the ladder's up. Oh, the child is gone. Okay. So, now we have planted some evidence here, okay? Who left the damn ladder up? The child is gone, and maybe, she drowned and then disappeared. She just vanished into thin air if she drowned. How absurd. Oh yeah, she just drowned and then vanished, okay? Gone. So we'll wait 31 days here. And everybody waited 31 days. And then the cops came. And then they take Casey to, naturally, that's what they're supposed to do, is speak to the mother. What's happening here? Okay? Where's your child? We have to look into this here. Okay? And bingo, she says, oh, I had this job at the Universal Studios. And they said, well, let's see. Take us to the job. I don't know who else they would actually ask that to do, but if you said to the cops that were, investigating your daughter missing, and that you told them you worked in a particular spot, and they would actually take you directly to that place, okay? And you didn't work there. And so now starts the ball rolling. Now, let's go back here to today, July the 11th, and a conversation that I had with Michelle Guido, who works for the Orlando Sentinel editor. Okay, that's the biggest guy on the paper, the editor, Mark Russell. And we had a talk, and here's what happened. Because the reporter wants to know, well, is she talking to a reliable witness or what? For calling about a particular crime, in this case, the murder of Kaylee Anthony. Is this person some kind of nutcase that's calling me and going to tell me something goofy or what? Or is this person knowledgeable and a witness? Okay? So you see, let me point out something to you about Miss Guido. That when I told her that I had read the transcript, right away she jumped to the conclusion that I was not even close to being a witness because I wasn't in that room where these people were having this deposition. Okay, Bias, Mason, Ashford, and Burdick, and the two shrinks. I wasn't in the room, so I couldn't be a witness, right? But every single word they took down with a court reporter. Every word, not only words, but even when they nodded, she would indicate nodding, okay? The court reporter. And so I'm reading this transcript. I could read it over and over, and I have actually, because I want to make sure of certain things, to put this in context and evaluate the evidence. And so the fact that Guido thought that I wasn't a reliable witness because I only read the actual words verbatim of was said by each person in this deposition, that I wasn't a reliable witness. And if I wasn't sitting in that room with them, it changed the whole deal. That's how ridiculous this woman is. I'm talking about Michelle Guido now, who has this job working for the editor of the paper, who we're going to sue, okay, for what they're covering up and everything. You understand? I just want this on the record now. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm preparing a lawsuit that will take from CNN, H/HLN / Ted Turner, multi-billionaire, who I will subpoena and charge in this case. Okay? They maliciously attacked and totally ruined the life of Casey Anthony on purpose. And they claim that she's off the wall, which, by the way, she is off the wall. She's not stupid, completely different, okay? She's very bright. She's going to be great after we can repair the damage that was done to her mind since the time she was 8 years old and forced to be a sex slave for this bastard George Anthony that everybody wants to cover up. This whole country wants to cover this guy up. Just like Paterno covered up Sandusky, and the Catholic cardinals covered up all the priests, and I believe the Pope had something to do with it when he was a cardinal, covering up the priests who were molesting all these kids. This is the society that we live in here, okay? This isn't North Korea, by the way. You understand? You have freedom. So you don't have to be a child molester lover if you don't want to be in America. You can be responsible, okay? And not try to protect George Anthony as a child molester and worry that this guy Danziger, Dr. Danziger, is so worried about George Anthony that he couldn't sleep and he couldn't eat. And that's out of his mouth. That's in the transcript. Okay? So that's how screwed up Dr. Danziger is. He's the shrink. See? That doesn't mean he's completely incompetent from being being a shrink in certain aspects. But he's also acting crazy because he wants to protect this molester. He's so concerned about it. He's lost sleep. And he's, oh, what if he's innocent? Well, what if he isn't? Because he isn't. Okay? He isn't innocent. And get that through your stupid skull that's so driven by the propaganda from HLN day after day before the trial, day after day during the trial, day and night after the trial, after they know they were completely dead-ass wrong. Okay? And thank God for this jury. Thank God for this jury. And by the way, even though Bias appeared to be extremely qualified as an attorney in that courtroom, I just want everybody here to know that he knew absolutely 100% it wasn't an accident. It was a murder. And it was George, the molester, who did the murder, who had the motive for the murder. And of course, Casey Anthony, even though she acted a little weird, really weird, not a little weird, really weird, by going to these bars and appearing to have a good time and get Bella Vita tattooed on her back, which she in her mind, not in your mind, knew that Bella Vita was ironic, was a complete sarcasm, because her life was so screwed up and terrible from the time she was 8 years old. And now we're going to top it off with this bastard murdering her kid because he molested that kid. Okay? You got it? In other words, you think I couldn't convince the jury that this guy is dead bang guilty? You think he isn't going to cop out to this whole thing, hoping like hell that some scumbag judge is going to give him some break? And when he goes to the BOP, they're going to protect him, by the way. Okay? I dress him up in a green outfit. I'm in a pink outfit. So that the guys in there, if they wanted to bust him up, they could bust him up every day if they felt like it. And if he wanted to stay in the hole for protection, goodbye, George. Okay? That's where you're staying until we take you out in a box, period. Boom, goodbye. Right? We'll send you something to eat. You know, you'll be lucky. You get to eat and you get a couple of showers a month. I mean a week, and that's it. Okay? That's where you're going. We'll make sure you don't commit suicide. We want you to live this out. That's what we'll do. And nobody will beat you up. Okay? How's that? How's that, George? So you can't beat that, okay?